Hey guys, what's going on? Today is Wednesday, June 4th, 2008. I just wanted to make a quick video because I had this really ridiculous experience the other day and I had to talk about it. I was supposed to be at work at 10 o'clock and I woke up at about 7:30. I wanted to sleep more, even though I had already gotten like 9 hours of sleep already. I wanted more sleep, and Nick was in bed and I wanted to just stay, and so I went back to sleep. That was my first mistake. This is going to be a big story of mistakes, but that was mistake number one, staying in bed. When I did wake up again, it was 9:40 and I needed to be at work in uniform at my desk at 10 o'clock. I hadn't heard my alarm go off, which, is not that surprising because I have actually slept through my alarm. Even worse, I've woken up because my alarm didn't go off and then gone to find my alarm with the batteries taken out sitting right next to it, and I don't even remember doing it. I don't mean like I picked it up and threw it and the batteries fell out. I mean I got up, went over, took them out, closed it, set it down, and went back to bed. And sleepwalking. I mean, I don't even remember that. It's happened several times before. So I was like, shit. I live all the way uptown, I've mentioned, up in the heights, and the subway ride is actually pretty quick, but then you have to factor in getting to the train and then waiting for a train to come, and it's just like, oh, man. So, I was like, I'm gonna have to take a cab. The smart thing to do would have been right away to call work and be like, listen, I'm gonna be late. I always struggle with that. I don't know, sometimes I feel like if you just sneak in, maybe nobody will notice. My station is kind of away from everyone else. A lot of times, an hour or two will go by before anybody actually comes by my area, and no one really knows when I'm there, So I just kind of thought I'd risk it. So I get dressed and I run down to the bodega to get some cash because I know I need to take a cab. I hail this black town car, a gypsy cab, which is pretty common up here, and I get in and I tell him, I need to go downtown to Canal Street. And he drives for a little bit and then he goes, oh, wait, hello. He starts pretending that his Bluetooth was going off. It wasn't going off. There was nobody there. But he was like, oh, my friend, I have an emergency at home. I can't take you there. Why are you lying? Just say, no, that's too far. I'm not going to go that far downtown. Just say that. Don't lie. So I was stressed and then pissed. So I got up and I slammed the door and I was being really dramatic. And then I hail this other one and it's a blue car that comes. I'm gonna say this was mistake number two, getting in that car. It wasn't a yellow cab, it wasn't a black gypsy cab town car, it was some random blue car. Like really, really blue. I've never been in one like that before, and that should have been a tip-off. Because I don't think that this person was an actual gypsy cab driver. I think it was just some guy who drives around seeing what spare change he can make by, pretending to be a cabbie. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. I need to go downtown to Canal Street. And he's like, Canal Street, downtown, my friend? Uptown? Downtown? I was like, Canal Street is downtown. He's like, okay! West Side Highway? And I was like, yes, thank you. So we're on our way. And I'm really nervous because as soon as we pretty much get onto the West Side Highway, we sat in traffic. I mean, it was really, really backed up. We were hardly moving at all. They always say that the longest time is treadmill hours. Like when you're on the treadmill, that time goes by extra slow. Or time when you're waiting on medical results, that time goes by extra slow. Or time at the end of your shift also goes by extra slow. I'm gonna add something to that. Time when you are stuck in traffic goes by really slow. You start to go insane as the minutes go by. 10 o'clock rolls around and then I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Because if they call me asking where I am, I'm gonna have to not answer the phone. Because then I can get to work and be like, I left my phone at home, I'm sorry. Because that's the only way out of, getting in trouble for not calling ahead. So we're sitting, and finally at 10:30, we had only gone about 40 blocks pretty much down the West Side Highway. And I called work, and I was really praying that they weren't going to transfer me to a manager. And the girl at the front desk gets my call, and she says, "Oh, you're running late? Okay, I'll let them know." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm sorry, I'll get there as quick as I can." So I'm kind of breathing a little bit easier, because at least they know I'm already late and I'm on my way. Well, we didn't move any faster. It wasn't another half hour until we finally got downtown towards where I needed to be. And then I noticed that we were a few streets below where I needed to be. So I'm like, hey, Canal Street. And he's like, left, right. I was like, right is the river, left. And then he starts speaking in Spanish. And I know I look Mexican, okay? I know I can look like a chubby little Mexican sometimes, but I don't speak Spanish. I'm not going to apologize for it. I just don't. I wish I did, but I don't. There, okay? I don't speak Spanish. It makes me sound like an ugly American, but if you're going to be in this country, speak some goddamn English. Speak enough to communicate, because I'm pretty sure that the only words that guy knew were downtown, West Side Highway, and my friend, because that's all he kept saying. We have passed the exit that we were supposed to take, and then we're way downtown, like towards like the bottom of Manhattan. I look over and I see the exit to where you can go see the Statue of Liberty, and I'm like, oh my God. It's after 11 at this. I'm like there's a watch. I don't even wear a watch. I look at my cell. I am an hour late to work already, and then he gets us in this path heading to the Brooklyn Tunnel. And we can't get out of it. And he doesn't know where he's going. And then he starts trying to blame it on me. Downtown, you said downtown. And I can't even argue because he doesn't speak English. And then it's just me yelling at some man who doesn't speak my language. And that's horrible. And I'm not going to do that. But I sat there like, sending all my bad vibes at him, which was stupid, I know, but I was mad. So we end up in Brooklyn. We go through the Brooklyn Tunnel, and the whole time he's just like, sorry, my friend, sorry. We get to the other side, we're in Brooklyn, and then he doesn't know Brooklyn, and he's lost, and he can't figure out how to turn us back around so we can go back to Manhattan. So we drive around for a while. I'm debating, should I call work? I'm already going to be late. To call a second time just brings more attention to the fact that I'm already late. Maybe they've forgotten about the fact that I'm going to be late, you know? Nobody deals directly with me most of the time, so maybe they've just kind of put it out of their head. And I'm hoping that later I'll be at work and someone will be like, oh, so hey, weren't you a little late today? And not really know what happened. Well, he somehow figures out how to turn back around, and then we get back to Manhattan, and we're in Wall Street, and he has no clue where we're going. And he's like, where? And I can't direct him because he doesn't speak English, so he's not going to know what I'm talking about. So I ended up just getting out of the cab and jumping on the subway, and I got to work at 11:30, an hour and a half late. They were not happy with me. So, lessons, let's review. Don't get in blue cabs. Learn to give some directions to work in Spanish. Get out of bed when you wake up. If you woke up before your alarm went off, get out of bed anyway.